Hello and welcome to the OverShadow ShadowCast with your host Thomas Anderson and Tech Wizard Abigail Mood.
I have returned. We are in the same building once more.
No more
Well, I returned last week, but we weren't in the same building.
Yeah, no more transdimensional recordings.
Thank goodness. Such a nightmare to edit that audio.
I am coming to you from the future. Have you tried?
Stay in the future.
Have you heard about Activision?
Too much.
And EA.
Too much.
Right.
Never again.
What have you been playing?
I have been playing Halo, and more Halo.
Tell us about Halo, and more Halo.
Where did I leave off last time? I can't remember. Was I stuck on a bridge?
You were stuck on, you were Mission 5.
I have progressed quite a lot this week.
Assault in the control room.
Yes. So yeah, you're right. It was Mission 5 that I was stuck on for quite a while because the last mission I was on a beach.
Yeah.
And this one I kind of went underground.
Sort of.
I went underground.
It's kind of different because the Halo ring isn't a planet, so you're sort of in the
inner workings of
the
said ring.
Yes.
Are you happy with that?
Yes, that's perfect.
Where it looks like a spaceship. It doesn't look like you're on an island.
Doesn't look like you're on a planet.
Yes.
Looks like you're in a spaceship.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that I was struggling with that first bit because you sort of land and there's no real cover for you, and the Covenant just start coming out this door.
Mm-hmm.
But they sort of like dart off in different directions and it's very difficult to sort of like get them all. And that took a fair few goes for me to go because I just didn't know how to do it. Like, I was even talking to you. I was like, there's no way to do it. I can't throw a grenade because they go everywhere. But eventually I think I just managed to do it. I can't even remember how I managed to do it. It's very windy, by the way. So if you hear the wind, that's what that is. And it's also raining.
We have bringeth the storm.
We have bringeth not winter, spring. I'm so used to saying winter. Is it still winter or is it spring now? I see daffodils.
I'd still go with winter until
March,
maybe even April, because we got some pretty heavy snow last March.
Yes we did. There was something that I found was I just blasted them all with my assault rifle, but after that I was left with virtually no ammo and I just kept dying after that, so I had to restart the mission. But this was quite early on into the mission, so I didn't feel as bad as if it had been.
So you had to basically restart the mission to streamline how well you were playing.
Yeah, just so I could get better and better.
That's it. That's what you do. You just keep playing until you get better and better.
Yeah. This mission you have to find the control room and plant Cortana into the control room so she can understand what the weapon is that they think, because they think Halo's a weapon, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. They think that Covenant, did the Covenant build it or they've discovered it? I can't, because I thought that they built it, but it kind of sounds like where I am now in the story that they discovered it. They found something.
Yes, I was at that stage where I realised that they definitely hadn't.
It doesn't look like they've actually built it.
But I mean, I was about 12 the first time I played that through, and the one giveaway for me before that mission was the fact that if you look at the ring's inner workings and then you look at the Covenant ship you're on in Mission 3, they don't look remotely similar to each other.
Everything happens so quickly I can't even process that information. I can't
what I
remember.
said or the actual playing the game.
The actual playing the game.
Right.
Because it's just it just throws stuff at you, just
Yeah.
That's the noise it makes when it chucks stuff at you.
Yeah, it's like wet kitchen roll. That's it, isn't it? That's what this roll.
What is that? What wet kitchen roll do you have?
Well,
My wet kitchen roll doesn't make that noise.
That's when it splats. It goes. Because it's hitting shields. It's hitting shields. Yeah, so the shields go. I mean, this is very basic science. I don't know how you don't know this.
But anyway, so it is pretty much like what you've been doing so far for this mission, which is you're just trying to take out the Covenant and you're trying to do it in a very efficient way where you're reserving as much ammo as possible. But also now they've got, before you, the variety in weapon was assault rifle, pistol, or sniper. Now you have the assault rifle, pistol, sniper, and also you have, was it like a mini rocket launcher?
It is a rocket launcher.
A rocket launcher.
It's a reloadable rocket
Yeah,
launcher.
which is
You're
pretty cool.
talking about the weapons.
Yeah.
Well, bear
What
in
did I
mind
say?
that that also includes the Covenant weapons. Just because you.
Yeah, I'm talking about your weapons, like your military weapons.
The human or UNSC weapons.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Because you can pick up the alien weapons.
Yes, you can pick up the alien weapons, but they're not as effective as your own ones, which I think is.
No, they're more effective in some ways.
I always found that they're not as effective. I find the alien ones to be more effective if you're in close combat than the pistol.
Aye, as the pistol's range is pretty useful, or its expertise against hunters. But the Needler, have you had a super combine explosion yet?
What's that?
If you fire enough needle rounds into a single target, it'll go off like a grenade.
Right.
The plasma pistol, you can overload it, and one shot will take out the shields of an elite.
Oh wait, yes, I have.
And if you're close range with that, you can then punch them to death.
Yeah, but they
Switch
overheat as well, don't they?
Yes,
yeah.
That's the thing, is that and the plasma rifle overheat.
Yeah.
So they've got a different downside. They also can't be reloaded. So the Needler can be, you can come across ammo for it, but the plasma pistol and plasma rifle have to be switched because you can't reload the power source.
Yeah. But also I drove a tank.
Yes, you did. Mission 5, tank mission. Hello. Mm-hmm. What did you think?
I thought the actual, where you aim the turret, it was always off slightly.
Aye, I think that's supposed to be deliberate. The idea is that if you fire at a great range, you're not going to be in that much control. But they, just as a bit of a spoiler for Game 2, they backtrack on that and make it much more accurate. Actually, I don't even know if it is.
That's not really a spoiler. That's just a.
We see that. I have always wondered if it was deliberate to make the turret not aim properly, as it were, or if it was just they couldn't quite get it right.
Right.
Because those sequences, even on Legendary, would be unbelievably easy if you hit everything you pointed at. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah. What do you think of the when it came to the turret movement controls for the tank?
It was easier to control than the Warthog. That's what I remember from it. But I thought it was fairly easy to control the. Because
you said that, well, I thought I hypothesized it was because of the low speed and the wider base, meaning it was more stable. Mm-hmm. So you weren't going to spin or flip. Yeah,
because but what was annoying with the tank was that I would fall off things quite easily. Like there's a slope you have to go down, and if you don't go down at the right angle, you're just gonna fall off of it. And I just kept landing in the rocks, so I had to restart that checkpoint over and over again.
What did you think of the aim to movement though when it came to the turret? Because when you can't strafe in the first game's tank, if you turn to aim at something while moving, you will turn to aim at it and then drive towards it.
Yeah.
So you can't drive from side to side to dodge shots.
That didn't bother me at all.
Okay.
It just didn't, because I'm used to that kind of mechanic. I'm not used to the strafing mechanic, so I was able to control it better.
I think that's sort of similar to the classic tank control, where you turn the whole thing and then move, because it can only go forward and back. Mm-hmm. In the second one, they change it, like I said before, to a newer system where the left stick controls the treads and the right stick controls the turret. Mm-hmm. So you can control them independently of each other. Sort of like the look and move are separated. It still can't move from side to side, but you can turn the treads and then head backwards to go and forwards to go side to side.
Okay.
So that's a common tactic. Is say if I'm the tank and you're the bad tank, the Wraith, right?
Yeah.
I'll drive up to you, and then I'll keep shooting, but I'll turn my treads sideways, and then go like this.
Yeah.
So I'm shooting this way, but it's harder for you to hit because every time you shoot, I just go, oh no, I'll go over here, and then I come back.
Yeah. But anyway, so.
And then there's the shooting when anything is like really close to you. because the wraiths are programmed to run over your character, whether or not they're in the tank or not.
Yeah, but we got to a part where I had to sort of cross like a stone bridge that was covered in snow.
Aye, quite towards the end.
And I had virtually no ammo left.
Aye.
And you and me were on the phone, and you were like, "We'll just do this and that." I was like, "But I can't. I've got no ammo left." But hold on, there's like, if I go back far enough, I can get a shield, like an invisible shield. So you're like, okay, do that, and then go get into the ship. I was like, okay. And then I was like, but somebody got in there before me, and then I died. And this happened a few times, and you went, "Are you sure you're invisible?" So I had to prop my phone up, had to put on video chat just to prove, yes, I was invisible.
Yeah.
And then
I
what
still
did I...
don't know how they saw you.
Neither-
You must
neither
have
do I.
ran into them or something.
No, I didn't, because it was on the other side of the ship.
How did you eventually complete that part?
I'll tell you how. I discovered there was ammo near me, and a health pack, because I had virtually no health left as well. But I had to go very far back to go get my sniper gun, because sniper rifle.
Thank you.
For goodness sakes, it's the same thing. And because I had seen that there was like a ledge that I could get up to if I got into the ship. And I could just snipe people from the bridge if I could get that. And I managed to do that. Get in the ship. Take out, first of all, the other ship that was there. That would have come chasing after me. And then just start sniping people. And then I used the ship to take out the rest of them. I managed to take out that cannon eventually. But I had to get... The tank, sorry. But I had to get really close to it.
Yeah. Yeah. That.
Really close to it.
It's easier to do that in the second game, but I won't tell you why. You can find that out.
But I pretty much got through it all okay. Because I've learned tactics like keep moving when people are shooting at you.
Yeah, I mean, do you agree with my synopsis where I said that it was a movement shooter?
Yeah, but also I've learned to really look around the map, well, to look around the area to see if there is any health packs or anything, because I had been constant. At one point I got stuck again, and I was constantly going through an area, and I didn't have much ammo left, and then for some reason I decided to go up sort of like this built up bit, like inside the inner workings, because they're dotted about the place, so you don't think much of them. And I discovered that there was ammo and a health pack on top, and also another weapon. And I discovered that I really need to be properly like looking about like different places that you wouldn't necessarily think ammo would be at, and also other like weapons and things like that, to really look around every single corner. And then the next mission, I have to get Cortana to the inner workings. You plug her in, but the next mission you don't actually have Cortana with you.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah, so she gets left behind, and still not entirely sure why. She's just not there. But
well, I can tell you that if you would like to know.
No.
Okay.
Oh, sad face.
This is my blank I'm a Vulcan face.
Oh, you really do wish you were one, don't you? Anyway, so you don't have Cortana, and you're sort of, and it gets very dark. You're having to like go through rain and things like that.
A bit jungly.
Yeah, it's more like a. I mean, you do get a good range of sort of different good range of different environments, because you have like a beach, you have the inner workings, you have a spaceship, you have a jungle vibe.
Yeah, you get the snow part.
Yeah, snow part as well. So you get like a good. It's a bit going through Halo. It's like a bit like going through a day in Scotland.
Yeah.
It really is, because you got sun, you've got snow, you've got rain. That's pretty much a day in spring.
I think
a day in late
nighttime.
winter.
You get nighttime as well.
Yeah, I think most places have nighttime.
Yeah. Well, hey, if there was no nighttime, it wouldn't be quite like here. But, I think that mission's also the one that introduces you to
The shotgun.
Yeah.
Which has got a good range. I prefer that to the pistol.
The shotgun is the most powerful weapon.
Yeah, it's really good. But you do have to conserve your ammo properly, because it's not the shotgun ammo isn't everywhere. Are you okay? Are you deflating?
Yeah, you're sort of right, but also wrong in a way. I think you're just at an instance where it's a bit limited. It's just that between Halo 1 and the next Halo games, they cut how much ammo you can carry for the shotgun because they made the shotgun so powerful, they had to spend like the next 4 games trying to make it less powerful because it was so good in the first one.
Yeah.
So one of the things they did was cut the amount of ammo you can carry for it from 60 to 30.
But yeah, it's great because I think for a very long time, so my roundup so far is for a very long time I was stuck on different parts, even in like easy mode. Now I'm up to heroic.
Yes.
I played the last couple missions heroic.
Last 3.
On the beach, I was on the beach.
Yes,
that
the
was
last
heroic.
3.
I was on the beach, that was heroic.
It was heroic that you were on the beach.
Yes. So I feel like I actually have learned, but I still find it super annoying. I don't know why I said super loud. I find it very, very annoying that I am still getting stuck on certain parts a lot, and then I don't like getting rushed by the enemies. I find that very annoying as well. And you could hear it in my voice when I was talking to you. I was getting so frustrated.
Yeah, like...
I was getting really angry.
I was trying to point out to you that you have to get in the vehicle by the entry door. I was like, that's just stupid.
I didn't say that.
No, you did. You said that's just stupid. I was like, stupid.
No, not your suggestion. Them being stupid.
No, the game. No, that's just stupid that I have to... No, it makes perfect sense that you have to get in the vehicle at the bit you can get in.
It's so stupid.
But you're getting there, and I think one of the lessons that you've learned is that you have to move. You have to keep moving.
But I think I'm almost... Am I almost there? Am I almost finished it? I'm just asking, have I almost finished it?
It sounded a bit like you want to be finished it.
No, it's not so much I want to be finished it, I'm just curious. I was stuck on certain parts for such a long period of time.
You're not almost finished.
Okay.
The game. But that should be good because...
Did you just hear what I just said?
No.
I said, that's good, and you talked over me.
Apologies. I didn't hear that. It's just that when you asked me, it sounded like am I nearly done yet? It sounded a bit like you wanted to be finished, which you don't want to be finished one of the good Halo games.
No. I do have a few more to go though. I've got another 3 in the Master Collection, don't I?
4. You might have to pay a few quid for it, but you'll get Halo 3 ODST as well.
Okay.
And that game felt much more built for co-op.
Yeah, and I kept asking Tommy, are we going to play co-op yet? Are we going to play co-op yet? And you're like, no, because I want to play a few missions in a row in co-op. And then I was like, and then you told me, I want to play it on Legendary. I was like, I've just gotten used to heroic. I've just understood it. Yeah, but that's why.
Yeah.
And then everything else is going to be stuck in Legendary when I go back to play it.
No, I can tell you how to fix that.
I really hope it doesn't start from the very beginning, because I will actually cry. Because that's what happened with Mission 3. We started playing a little bit of it in Heroic, and then went to go back to play it, and it reset the beginning of the mission.
You know, it does that. It tells you it's going to do that. It can't keep that many missions, and the resume is for the last thing you did. So well,
I mean, I've just started the next mission, so even if I start it from there, I'll be fine.
Right.
It's not like I'm halfway through a mission.
Right, but my point is that if you are halfway through a mission, we'll wait till you're done.
So, I've not even started I have started it, but I just keep dying and it just keeps resetting, so I'll just wait.
Well, we pencil in when you want to play some missions, and then you can decide what you want to do.
February 24th. That's 2 p.m.
Why am I Austrian?
Till 3:30.
Right, quick question. I want you to tell me the name of the tank.
It's a tank.
Or what's the human tank
I don't
called?
know.
Come on, guess.
I don't know. Cortana 0.6.
What's the dropship called?
I don't know.
What's the car called?
A warthog.
Right, so what is a warthog?
It's an animal.
Right, so what do you think the tank is called?
The pig.
What does it look like?
Tank!
What kind of animal does it look like?
An elephant? I don't know.
Scorpion. Because it's got a flat base.
Okay, this is a question to all you out there, and please comment what your answer is. Plus, we'd like some comments. Is scorpion the first thing you think of when somebody says, what does a tank look like in terms of in the animal kingdom?
Yeah, because it's got a flat base, and then the turret comes up from behind and goes across the top of it like its tail.
A tank.
Yeah, it's not a normal tank like you'd see on Earth at the moment. It's a different thing.
It looks like a normal tank to me.
Look up tanks when you get home. Well, that's what you've been playing, and I've just been playing things that we've already spoken about before. So there's no point in talking about them again for no reason. So we'll move on to our next
Item.
Yes, which is that we both watched
Metro Exodus.
some gameplay footage for Metro Exodus. So it was released on the 15th, 2 days ago.
Okie dokie.
So we're going to talk about that, and next week we'll be talking about Anthem because its release is the 22nd.
Yes.
So you watched the video, I watched the video. What did you think of the video?
It's very dark. In terms of actual light and also in terms of symbolic darkness.
Yeah.
It's a post-apocalyptic thing, isn't it, again? There's a lot of post-apocalyptic games out there, isn't there?
Well, this one's based on a book.
I know it's based on a... Was it Russian author, wasn't it? It's all
Yeah,
set in Russia.
I think so. It's set in Russia. The original 2 Metro games were set in the Moscow Metro. And now this one is Exodus, is them exodizing from the Metro. We have exodused.
But yeah, it seems to be a very interesting game if you understand. I don't think it would be a game to sort of just like launch yourself into. I think you need to play like other games with similar things before you get launched into this, because you can run out of ammo quite easily, so you have to conserve yourself. You know how to hide. You need to know how to hide, and you need to know how to shoot. You know, it's not like it's a bit like being thrown in the deep end if this is the first kind of game like that you're going to play.
I would just play the previous 2 Metro games. Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light.
Okay, but my point still stands.
Yes, I'm just agreeing with you. I'd play those.
It sounded like you were not agreeing with me.
I know, I would play those
Well, I would just play those 2 games.
I have, and I would say they help you. Those are the 2 games. Those are the 2 games I would recommend you play before this one, if, as you said, you need to play some games.
There's mutants in this, isn't there?
Aye. That's quite common, because it's the same nuke-based post-apocalyptic world. So there's human mutants and other forms of mutant as well. It's not... I'll put it this way, this is much grimmer and much more realistic, whereas the Rage is much more like a cross between
That's like more fantasy kind of.
It's a cross between Borderlands and Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah. I'll take you at that word for it, but I understand what you mean by this one is a bit more realistic to compare to Rage 2. Because Rage 2 has a bit more like it feels like a story, but this one feels more like it could happen. Which is which is a bit more scary when you think about it.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, this is less likely to happen.
But this is a story, I understand that. It's
No, I'm just saying this is less likely to actually happen because of the mutants themselves. Speaking as a biologist, they don't make any sense. But the other stuff around that makes sense. And whereas Rage makes a bit more sense because it's based on a meteorite strike.
Mm-hmm.
And that would bring with it possibly foreign material.
Right.
Which could have the magical
radiation
effects that you
effects,
see.
yes.
Well, I was thinking more possibly unicellular organisms and metals or compounds we haven't seen on Earth before. Not every part of the
tumbleweed
periodic table is actually on Earth. Well done. There's been some problems with the game. Its release. A couple of bugs that were in the video.
Yeah, the text that came up, like some of the lines were like bugging out.
Yeah, it was like it was having a problem figuring out whether or not, you know how you can have a sentence as it is and then you add a comma and that causes a word to move to the next line.
Yes.
It was like that. It kept jumping up and down, so it's like it couldn't figure out where the words were supposed to be. So the top half was fine, but the bottom half constantly was jumping. So it must have been a bit like everybody was dyslexic. Because you mentioned before that it's like the words are moving around the page.
That is not what I see when I read.
No, but that's what I think that's a reasonable. I mean, you're saying that they sort of like move around, like float around.
Sometimes, yes.
Right. Well, they were still moving around.
That's why we need to wear blue glasses.
But that's sort of the. I mean, the brain works when it comes to words in pretty specific ways.
This is also another proof that AI will not be taking over anytime soon. I can't predict. There's a comma.
I thought that was pretty interesting to see that. Because they didn't mention that, but because one of the people who was on the video is colourblind, they would normally mention things like that. So I found it interesting.
Are they colourblind?
This is a Giant Bomb video. They're my favourite. Everybody knows that.
I know that.
We can't play the games on release because we're not proper, nor are we rich, so we can't do that. So we go to their material a lot of the time. And the thing is that 2 of their major members are colourblind.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Jeff Gerstmann and Vinnie Caravella. And so they'll mention colourblindness settings a lot of the time because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if they were hard of hearing, they'd be mentioning subtitles. So I found that interesting that they never brought that up, but that I did, because you're a freak.
Excuse me?
I mean, you're dyslexic. I'm sorry, I didn't
Excuse me? Excuse me?
You mentioned that the game was dark in several ways. That was another thing that was wrong with it, really, was the settings were quite difficult to control. Apparently they had to ramp up the gamma settings just about
even they said it was very, very dark. I can't deal with that. Anything that's very, very dark. But there was also a part where they have to wear a gas mask.
Aye.
And, like muck and stuff like that gets on it. You have to wipe it away. I was starting to stress out at that point because I cannot deal with things like that. It's like even when I'm driving, that windscreen has to be like completely clear because I don't like anything on my windscreen. Because it just... I just can't deal with that.
You ever been paintballing?
No. Even like stuff on glasses, anything on my phone, I always have to make sure it's very clear because I hate anything obstructing my view.
I went paintballing and I'm quite proud to say that I went...
Did you win?
Total Predator. No, I covered myself. I was wearing a boiler suit and a mask, so I covered myself in mud and then just sat at the bottom of a tree in some bushes and just sort of people would walk past and I'd just lean out of the bush slowly and go trap 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 and then lean back in. Like I went mental. My dad he pre-lined the seats in the car knowing that I would come back looking like I'd just wrestled with a monster.
I don't think I'd enjoy paintballing.
I love paintball.
I just do that thing, what is it they do in Lord of the Rings, and just have like a cape and make myself look like a rock.
I actually...
That rock moved!
I actually dragged a friend of mine, he was running across some cover and he fell over, and I was in the cover. So I reached out and grabbed his boiler suit and just yanked him into cover, like, I've got you, sunshine, and pulled him out.
See, you scare me like that. I think you'd be too intense if I went paintballing with you.
You'd
be too competitive. It wouldn't be for fun.
I'm competitive, but only against myself. So we had played Capture the Flag, and the guy shouted 45 seconds, and nobody had made any progress on capturing the other person's flag. Well, it was actually reverse capture. You were to plant your flag in the other base, right?
Okay.
So I I just literally handed my mate my gun, so he had 2 guns, right?
Yeah.
I ran up and grabbed the flag and just sprinted down the middle of the map, as it were, holding this flag.
Oh, I thought you meant like in real life.
Yeah.
But you said map, so
Yeah,
it makes me think it's a game.
because it was a cordoned off area. So I went running down the middle of the forest, waving just this flag trailing behind me at full speed, and then I got, about 70% of the way down and just got shot about 400 times. But I did this sort of like, and dropped to my knees and just sort of waved the flag about a bit and then fell down and it fell on me and just sort of like trailed over me and I just lay there. And normally you're supposed to put your hand up and walk off, but I just lay there and stayed there because I didn't have a gun, so I couldn't paintball anyone. So I just lay there, draped in my national flag, probably. I've only lost my temper at paintball once, and that's when a guy shot me when I had my hand in the air, so shouting I'm out of ammo, and he shot me anyway, and I about near punched him in the face. Because he was this wee 19-year-old who thought it was funny. And I was 22 at the time.
I've been to laser tag.
I went mental at this wee guy.
I've been to laser tag. I did not win that. And I almost had an asthma attack during it because they just kept filling the room with dry ice. Or a smoke machine or something.
Maybe you should have let them shoot you in the brain and that would have fixed your dyslexia. Oh yeah, we were talking about Metro Exodus.
You're so mean.
What did you... Other than those 2 bugs though, there weren't many bugs.
No.
They actually looked reasonably professionally made beyond that.
Yeah.
There was the sleeping mechanic, there was the filters for the gas mask, they run the same way as they always have. The interesting thing that they brought up was that the bullet currency is gone, apparently.
What was the bullet currency?
You got normal rounds of ammo, right?
Yeah.
But then you got, I think it was 45 PC rounds or something like that. They were fresh, newly minted, lovely rounds that were made before the fall, as it were.
Right.
Whereas the other stuff's made by people after. So one is precision milled and the other one isn't. Basically, the older rounds are better, so they're used as currency.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what was great. You could also put them into your gun and fire them for extra damage.
Mm.
And if you want to know what running out of ammo is like, it's play the first game when you're sitting there thinking, do I use these or do I not? Do I use these or do I not? But you could trade them for stuff, the bullets.
Right.
And they've taken that out and put in a manufacturing mechanic. A crafting mechanic, because there's no one to trade with. Your team of dudes isn't going to have your own in-house currency because bullets are the currency of the Metro. It's quite reasonable that they wouldn't be the currency of anybody else.
Yeah.
So, and you're all working together as a team. You're not going to charge each other for...
No.
You're just going to you're like a little military, you're just going to requisition what you need. You're not going to pay and buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense.
Indeed.
But they've still got a lot of the same sort of stealth / shooting mechanics, so you can stealth your way past bits, and there's a lighting system to tell you when you're visible and when you're in such super secret places they can't see you, and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they added in a surrender mechanic.
All right.
Did you see that?
No.
There's a surrender mechanic.
Oh, sorry. Yes. So when you're shooting at enemies, they can surrender and then they won't actually attack you afterwards.
Yeah.
But you can still attack them if you want. You can kill them or you can knock them out.
Knock them out is what you...
It's more polite.
Yes. But if you choose to kill them, you can still shoot them in the face or stab them, I believe.
Yeah, but that's just wasting ammo or...
Stabbing.
Yeah.
The reason you don't stab them is because I think if you start stabbing them, people can hear.
Yeah.
Because it's the same mechanic as when you sneak up to someone, you can stab or knock them out. But I wouldn't be surprised if you stabbed people who'd surrendered, the other people who'd surrendered start picking up their guns again.
I don't think they would do that because they said that they don't do that. That when they surrendered, that's it. They just surrendered.
Yeah, but not if you've just stabbed 3 guys in front of them and are walking up to them with a knife.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, I don't know. That would just be a sort of idea of mine. What did you think of the shooting?
The shooting seems to be alright. It seems to have quite precise shooting because you've got like a little scope that you can look through.
A sight.
Sight. Darn it!
You're getting there.
Terrible.
It's not a
at this.
scope if there's no magnification. It's a sight. It's a laser dot or a red dot sight. It's very...
I know, I actually do know that, I just forgot.
It's...
Excuse me, sorry.
It's...
I've used one before.
Boring you, obviously.
No, I'm just tired. You can be tired, but I can't. Is that how it works? Only Tommy can be tired.
Yeah. It's... I thought the shooting was pretty tight and precise, to be honest. And as you said, you've got to be really careful with the amount of bullets you use. You could tell that from the way the person was playing it. I thought that was really... If they've gone to make bullets a scarce resource, they've done very well. I am pretty good at stealth games, so...
Yeah, I know you are.
I would stealth my way around that. What does that mean?
I know you are.
Oh, right, okay.
But what am I?
I like the characters.
Terrible.
I like the lore. I like the new factions that they've put in. Also, they have enemies are different at night than during the day, but you get an advantage from attacking humans, I think, at night because they're asleep and all that sort of jazz. And the way the missions work is that you go to one area and then you have to make it possible for your train to move to the next area.
Mm-hmm.
And but the reason for that is that works is because you can do sort of side missions in that area as well. So you can either steam through and just do the main story, or you can explore completely and do all the side stuff.
Uh-huh.
Now, you saw this earlier on. There's a sort of hub area with the train as it moves is a hub area.
Yes.
And you can sort of talk to and interact with people.
Yeah, because you could pick people up. You can save people or something.
Yeah, and you can
add to
your
the train.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. I quite like that idea.
But you can also add people to it and items. Like there's a guitar apparently that he was able to supply, and there were other things he could have done.
Yeah. But I would think that a train, although it's quite a good idea, it's also not quite a good idea, because wouldn't your enemy sort of suss out where you're going because there's tracks?
Well,
Couldn't people anticipate where you're going to be going?
Yeah, for sure, but only if there is a standard enemy.
Okay. I didn't know. I just thought of that just then.
Well, it's a good point, but if you're entering an area and they've never noticed this before, then
yeah,
the faction's not going to just suddenly think, oh, a train's going to come past any minute now.
Well, I didn't know. Maybe they would.
I reckon there will be. I reckon you'll turn up at some point and the tracks will have been destroyed and you need to relay them or something.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way that I think it would be problematic from that point of view that you mentioned is if you had a standard overarching enemy for each area. It could go ahead of the tracks and cause a problem. But I don't know if there is, so
okay,
we'd have to see.
Okay. Well, that's all I have to say on it. I don't think I had anything else to mention.
It seems to be in keeping with the Metro style, and they've kept the same characters and they've progressed that story.
Oh, so there's a progression. There's like the same characters per, like you're following a character for each story, is it?
What do you mean?
Like there's a character in the first game, and then you're still playing them in the second game.
Yeah, it's the same character.
Same character.
Artyom in 1, 2, and then 3.
Okay.
And I like the character. He doesn't say very much, but I really like the first 2 Metro games. There were certain parts of it which caused me to be afraid, like a wee girly. But what?
Not all girls are afraid.
I'm talking about a wee girl, like a 7-year-old.
A child. Say a child then, because that implies that that little boys aren't scared.
When you think of the most blood-curdling screaming, I'm afraid, that is far more statistically applicable to wee girls. I'm not saying all wee girls, I said like a wee girl, not all wee girls. Okay?
Fine.
Thank you.
I just like to watch your brain explode.
like earlier on.
Oh god, that's not that is off record. That is not part of this. Do not drag that conversation into this.
From what you saw, what did you think?
I thought it was good. I thought it was probably, apart from, as you say, the mutants, it has quite a realistic outcome of what a nuclear war could achieve, like a post-apocalyptic future, because it's nuclear, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it has that look of what it would actually be like to be in that situation. Because it's not just ammo everywhere. You're running out of ammo. You have to learn how to hide properly, and you're trying to help people survive on that train.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty...
I don't get taken out of the immersion or even the realism of it while playing it, because, how to put this, all post-apocalyptic mutants don't make sense. As a biologist, I know that they're just factually incorrect. If you get mutations, you get leukemia, you don't get superpowers. But what that does do is it means that I'm less frightened of the game afterwards. Like, I am in many ways a fearedy cat. I get afraid a lot. But
a fearedy cat? It's called a scaredy cat.
A fearedy cat.
Scaredy cat.
A fear means you're afraid. A fraidy cat.
A scaredy cat. You get scared. How have you never heard the phrase a scaredy cat?
I have. I'm just wondering why you haven't heard the phrase I used.
Because the phrase is scaredy cat.
Okay, Madam Brexit.
Why are you calling me that?
Because you can say it in multiple ways. There are many forms of the phrase. I used one and you got all angry at me.
Because I've literally never heard that phrase before.
Yes,
a fraidy cat. A scaredy cat. You're looking at me like you're worried for my sanity.
Yeah. So I get kind of a fear, and sometimes I get a bit afraid after the fact. Like if I'm standing there brushing my teeth and hear a little beep from somewhere, I'll go, what? Oh, it's fine, don't worry about it. And then I'll get on with what I'm doing. I don't let it bother me, but it does, it's there. And it's quite nice when you can say to yourself, nah, it's okay. Those things can't possibly exist, right? A zombie is not going to come through that window and eat my face.
Says you.
And now I'm afraid again. So you can suspend your disbelief and then be immersed and enjoy the realism of it. But then if you are actually having a proper sort of like, oh God, is that what the world would look like? Only within reason, so you can sort of calm down. But then again, in Fallout, they explain a lot of the things that you can see in that because of the FOV. So maybe there's something similar in Metro that's in the books that would explain those creatures and therefore make perfect sense, and it is perfectly reasonable and possible. I'm scared again.
I thought you were just making a statement, so I kind of may have zoned out there for the last couple sentences.
Yeah. I'm making a statement of intent. I really like the look of it and want to play it. I am worried about what's going to happen to them because of that epic switch. But other than that, it looks like a Metro game I want to play.
Cool. Should we move on to the news?
Do you want to play it?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Not at this stage, anyway.
Oh, well, that's fair enough, yeah, because you've not played anything with any amount of stealth. I can recommend a stealth game to you.
What?
I'd go with either Splinter Cell, possibly a Hitman for social stealth, or a game I played for the Xbox One recently was called Styx.
Okay.
That might be worth it.
Okay. Move on to the news.
To the news. Now, there's only 2 sections in news today.
Yes. And I see your word. I see Bethesda. Bethesda.
Yes.
But that's the
Activision
second
Blizzard.
one.
Pardon?
That's the second piece of news with the Bethesda.
Mm-hmm. Activision Blizzard plans to fire hundreds of its employees. well, it hasn't planned anymore, it has actually done it. It has fired 8% of its workforce, which equates to about 800 people. Activision Blizzard have said, and here's a quote, "As part of the restructuring process, Activision Blizzard is legally required to undergo what's called a quiet period, during which the company cannot talk about major events like reorganisation until the Securities and Exchange Commission declares the statement effective." Which meant that the employees knew that there were firings coming, but they didn't get any information before they were actually fired. And they got hours to possibly a day's notice. And this includes people who've worked at certain companies like Blizzard for 10 to 15 years.
Jeez.
Remember that they pay their chief financial officer $15 million as a sign-on bonus, and their CEO makes around $30 million a year. That's Bobby Kotick, the CEO, said, "While financial results for 2018 were the best in our history, we didn't realise our full potential." End quote. It's a pretty poor performance if you had to fire 800 people because of it. They made a net revenue of $7.5 billion last year. Now, net revenue is profit. And a net revenue of $7.02 billion in 2017. So that is their best year.
So they are up.
How much were these 800 people being paid? How much were they being paid if a profit increase of $480 million wasn't enough to keep paying them? I think the most sickening thing about this is sort of twofold. He said it's our financial results were the best in our history and then fired 800 people. But then after that, part two, the stock price rose after the announcement of the firings.
That is horrific.
That's modern capitalism. They made £480 million of profit more than the year before, fire 800 people, and that causes the stock price to go up.
It's just depressing.
Yeah, it's.
I don't have anything else to say apart from that.
Just speaking, my brother studied economics. That's not the way capitalism is supposed to work. Capitalism is market methodology. It's not this strange religion that people have turned it into. But just to do some rough calculations, so how much were those 800 people being paid if 420 million extra in profit wasn't enough? Like, extra in profit. This is after they've been paid.
Okay,
That's not enough.
Okay, yeah.
But let's take the 480 million. How much between 800 people? How much is that?
I don't know.
What do you times by 6 to get 48?
Eight?
Yes, so if there's 800 people, 480 million divided by 800 is...
I don't know.
Well, you just said...
8?
No, because I said 6. I gave you the answer to begin with.
6.
Right, so 480 divided by 8 is 60, so it's 0.6 million. So they were paying each person 600,000. I don't believe that. Yeah, I don't believe it either. And that doesn't make sense. So what about, let's see, his $15 million sign-on bonus, divide that by 800 people. Let's make it 16 million to make it easy.
2.
Bingo. Well, 0.2. So that's 200,000 each. No, they probably weren't even getting that. What about the CEO? 30 million. What about that? Let's make it 32 to make it easy.
4?
Bingo. 400 grand each.
We've been through this before. No math in the morning.
How much were these people being paid?
Does not sound right. Does not compute.
No, a lot of the people who were fired were not developers. There were some developers, but a lot of them were people who were part of the publishing or esports divisions, which is why people believe that Blizzard's esports games are going to get cut.
Ah, right.
It's things like Hearthstone and stuff like that. I'm sorry, but if you're making that amount of profit and it doesn't work for your company, you've set your bloody company up wrong.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Who cares if your stock price tanks as long as it's sitting at a level which doesn't cause your company to fold? It's fine. The simple fact of the matter here is that it's corporate greed combined with laws which enforce corporate greed. The law actually is that you have to make your shareholders as much money as possible.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Balance that with the jobs. I mean, they've still made more money there. You could have easily kept those 800 people on.
Yep.
Just change the law so
It's
that
just
they have to
sad.
balance it.
It's just sad. I think what it's gotten to the point where I hear these kinds of really sad stories week after week after week, and I'm just like, I can't say anything anymore. It's just...
Right, well, obviously...
Like, it's just depressing.
It's obviously bad.
Stop choosing these pieces of news.
It's obviously bad for the 800 people, but primarily...
Don't make me do work.
Why did they fire those people and do it in such a way as to not give them any warning whatsoever? They could have... They said that we had to wait until it became effective.
Well
then tell them then they have a month's notice. They should have been given much larger periods of notice to give them a chance, because gaming companies, it's not like working in a blah blah blah. You have to move state if you're in sometimes country.
Yeah, because it's still quite rare to get these I was going to say like software, but like the company setup will be in certain locations.
Yeah,
they are still quite a rare site. It's not like it's becoming as rare as a bank.
Yeah,
they're not. They won't be in every town. They won't be in every city.
No, so they'll have to move, possibly country, maybe even continent.
So to the best of my knowledge, the only game developer, one of the Rockstar's in Edinburgh, and I don't know anywhere else.
That's Rockstar
North,
or is it Rockstar Games?
Rockstar North.
Yeah, and there's Rockstar Games, Rockstar Canada. There's loads of different.
Yeah, but to the best of my knowledge, I don't know of any others in. There probably are some in Scotland, but that's the biggest one I know of.
Well, yeah, I mean the simple fact of the matter is, there's not another one of that size in Edinburgh, and there's not a Rockstar in Glasgow. You know, they can't move around.
Yeah, and it's so.
So it's if you lose
they would
your
have
job,
to make a big move.
It's start your own company or move country.
Yeah.
And you need time to plan that out. Not you're fired tomorrow. Deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the fact that that's a redundancy.
Yeah.
Not a firing. Because those jobs will not be... They will not hire someone in to replace those 800 jobs. So they've been made redundant. So they'll get payment packages, severance packages, but they should have also had more time.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed.
Neither am I.
We'll move on to a slightly kind of happier story.
I like how small the story is. It's literally 3.5 lines.
Yes, so Obsidian have made several comments on social media and during interviews saying that they haven't made the Outer Worlds to bash Bethesda and Fallout 76. Now you remember what the Outer Worlds is, yeah?
Yeah, it has that bit where it's like some guy shoots another person and she's just like, you just be you.
Yeah, that's good. And then it plays the Iggy Pop song.
The woman just backing away slowly, horrified.
Yeah. And it plays Iggy Pop.
I can't remember if that's the song. Yeah, okay.
You are the passenger.
I can't remember the music in it.
Now you remember that trailer that came out for it, which had that scene in that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
It also it points through it from the original makers of Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Or from the makers of original Fallout, something along those lines. They're talking about the people who used to work on the original top-down tile-based sort of Fallout games.
Okay.
They also say, and from the makers of Fallout New Vegas, that refers to Obsidian having made Fallout New Vegas,
Right.
which is hotly contested as being the best of the sort of 3D RPG Fallout games.
Yeah.
A lot of people have taken that as being a stab at Bethesda for Fallout 76 being terrible. But that trailer was made long before Fallout 76 was released and was terrible.
Yeah.
So they've been coming out and saying to people, look, that's not why we did it, it's not why we're making the game, and it's also not why we want people to be interested in it. We don't want people to be interested in our game just because it's not something else. They want to be playing it because they want to play it.
Right.
Not because they want to
Yeah.
harm another one or whatever.
Yeah.
So, why do you think people are interested in the Outer Worlds?
Seems like a really cool game. From the trailer, from when I watched the trailer, like I was like, oh yeah, that looks like it'll be a fun game to play. So probably the trailer.
Okay.
It looks like it's got real personality.
There has been some gameplay, I've not watched it, but I've seen a couple of seconds at one point, and it looks like it has a really in-depth dialogue system. Conversation system allowing player choice to be heavily involved, whereas the recent Fallout games have gone a completely different way, where they've actually taken that sort of stuff out, and the conversations are much more sort of cinematic but less player controlled.
Yeah.
I am interested in it partly because of what you said, the trailer was great, but also because it's from the people who made
They've got a good record. They've got a good record,
Vegas
yeah.
and KOTOR 2. During these interviews, Obsidian also tried to play down some of the expectations because they're not a AAA studio. They describe themselves sort of more as a sort of, I don't know if they describe themselves or other people have, but the description of AA has been used. They don't have quite the amount of funding required to be AAA.
Right, okay.
So while they've been having these discussions saying, look, we just don't have the budget for everything we'd like to do.
Are they sort of like somewhere between high-end and independent?
No, they're much closer to high end.
Okay.
But they're not quite at the level where they can just throw as much money at a thing as
So they do
want.
have to really sit down and think about what they're going to be doing. They can't just go, right, let's spend X amount extra on this and that. Yeah. They have to budget properly.
Well, not just that. It's just that their budget is a bit more restrictive.
That's
So,
what I mean.
for a AAA game can afford to put anything into their game if they think it will make a profit.
Yeah.
But this company can't because they don't have the store capital to do that.
Yeah.
So they've been trying to play down some of the expectation. There's also been people saying, well, if people really enjoy this, there'll be an Outer Worlds 2, which will be AAA.
Okay.
So that's fine. But one of the things they mentioned, which I caught on to, was that they said that the Outer Worlds size is similar to KOTOR 2, which means that it'll be about 15 to 40 hours depending on how you choose to play it.
Okay.
Just to point out, that's kind of the same size as Mass Effect 1 and both the KOTOR games, and I loved playing all three of those games. So that doesn't bother me at all. That size is absolutely fine.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want something that's just going to be long for the sake of being long. Like,
No, they've cut it down to that because they can't add in what they'd like to add in to make it longer. So that's fine. From the looks of what they've said. 15 hours to 40 hours, depending on how you choose to play it, basically means do you choose to do side quests and exploration and take your time and enjoy it, or just rush through the main story. And I'll tell you this, that my quickest playthrough of KOTOR 1 was 36 hours. Might even have been slightly longer than that. So probably over 40 hours for KOTOR 2 and probably over 40 for Mass Effect. So yeah, I don't think they made Mass Effect or KOTOR 1, they just made KOTOR 2, but it's the same sort of size and style of game.
Yeah.
And I always fully explored all those games. So I expect to do the same here. So I'd say the game will be at least 40 hours for me.
Cute.
So if they released that at 60 quid, like all the other games, that would actually be worth it. If you've got it, that is, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's...
All those people that have it.
yeah, but it's...
Are you looking forward to it?
yeah, I'm interested, for sure.
Shame.
Bethesda are really going to have to pull the finger out when it comes to Starfield, because whether Obsidian like it or not, comparisons are going to be made. You know, with Obsidian, you've got Fallout New Vegas, arguably the best Fallout game, and you've got the Outer Worlds, and then you've got where Bethesda took it, so you'll have Fallout 4, Fallout 76, and Starfield. So if Starfield is too much like where Bethesda took Fallout,
Mm-hmm.
the comparisons are going to be made, and it's not going to be in their favour.
No.
And Obsidian might not want to embarrass Bethesda, but Bethesda would be embarrassed if they were outdone by Obsidian, because Obsidian are far smaller than them.
Yeah.
So they really have to pull the finger out.
I think Bethesda have a lot of other things that they can be embarrassed about.
Well, I
They
mean,
want more things going on.
the Bethesda aren't making Rage 2, but their parent company is publishing it. And it's expected to take a bit of a hit because of what's happened with Fallout 76, even though nobody involved in it is involved in Rage 2. And I was more excited for Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6 before Fallout 76. Now I'm just worried. I thought Fallout 76 would just be, oh, that's a different thing, that's multiplayer. That's not for me. Other people can play that. But now that it's such a disaster, it's just been badly made. I'm worried that will bleed into the other games that are upcoming. So I'm not as excited anymore. But the Outer Worlds is exciting me. I think that's probably why it's getting such attention. It's not just because it looks great, but because people are terrified of what's happening with Bethesda, and this is like a lifeline. Well, come over here. You'll be fine. We've got the Outer Worlds. Come on in. Do you want a nice conversation with a character? I'd love to have a nice conversation with a character. We've got loads of characters. Do you want to have a conversation? On you go. Bye. It's like it's a refuge. It's a safe haven.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts? No. Okay. Excellent.
No.
Yeah.
I said, you know, it looks like it's going to be a really fun and interesting game, and it'll be really great to see if it's well received. Maybe give Obsidian a bit more money to do more extra projects.
I think they're owned by Microsoft now, so if this works, Microsoft will just bung them whatever they want.
Yeah.
So
that's all I have to say.
Excellent, fantastic.
Is that the end of the news?
That is the end of the news.
Cool.
That's all the news you have time for today.
So you'd like to leave a comment? That'd be fantastic. Please like and subscribe this. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah.
For more interesting topics.
You can like and subscribe below the video.
Yes, please.
And you can follow us on Facebook.
I thought maybe you want to do it this week.
You can follow us on Facebook at OverShadow.ShadowCast, and you can email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com.
And we have that monotone again. So thank you all so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it.
As do I.
So I will say bye-bye.
Yes, you will.
And Tommy also says bye-bye. So
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.